On today's show, do the Dallas Mavericks have one more trade left in them? What will they do during the season if they need to make a move? We'll answer more questions like that on today's Locked On Mavs. Stop it! Stop! The number one pick will go to the Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flagg will fly in Dallas.
Dogs, all of us, all five.
You are Locked On Mavs, your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave.
Your team every day.
I'm gonna get a city like that.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Mavs for 10 years. Thanks for being an everydayer, making Locked On Mavs your first listen. Joining me, as always, my co-host, media member covering the Mavs for 10 years, right alongside me, the weekend warrior, the one more thinking. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
So do we want to talk about Fantastic Four now, or?
Fantastic Four. We watched it together.
We did. It was awesome. But we can't spoil it, so.
It was insane that, like, Thor was in it. Today's episode, we're going to answer your questions about Thor is not in Fantastic Four. I just want to be very clear about that. Is that a spoiler? Is that a spoiler that he's not in it? I guess at this point for a Marvel movie, it is.
Someone will get mad about that.
That's fine. They can be mad about that. We're going to answer your questions on today's show. Answer questions about Cooper Flagg. Do we care about his stats in his first year? What's the priority for Cooper Flagg and for the Mavericks? What if D'Angelo Russell exceeds expectations? I like that question. A bunch of questions about the rotation. And these are all questions that we got from you, the listener, on our text line. You can subscribe to it, 214-643-8637. There's also a link in the description. Well, let's start with these questions. We got a bunch of questions about trades, as we always do. And the Mavericks, they may have another trade left in them. We do see some of these happen. We saw Donovan Mitchell get traded to the Cavs in like September, right? Like we've seen some crazy trades happen late in the season. Wasn't like the Karl Anthony Towns trade to the Knicks was like the day before training camp? I mean, we have seen some nuts trades happen in the NBA late into the season when like executives and people start coming back to work and things like that.
Late into the offseason.
Yeah, the offseason. So we got a couple questions. One of them, the first one, what is a consolidation trade that gets accepted that you would make right now if you woke up as Mavericks GM? So if you're looking at this roster right now, because this is relevant, the Mavericks do have too many players. They signed Dante Exum to this deal, or they're reportedly going to, and they have one too many players with guaranteed deals that are going to be on this roster. So they do need to make some kind of move. And so we've been kind of speculating, like wondering what type of move could happen. We think it could just be as simple as an Omax, the salary dump, a Jaden Hardy salary dump to somewhere with a pick attached maybe, or maybe a team is interested in them. Maybe the Brooklyn Nets need another guard, like maybe something that they want, so they'll take Hardy or whoever. But if you're the GM, Isaac, what's a consolidation trade that you'd be looking at right now where it's like a 2-for-1? The Mavs send out 2 and they get somebody back.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's something like you're mentioning Hardy and Omax and stuff. It's something towards the end of the roster that we've all kind of expected. Like they got to shed a little bit of money to be able to sign Dante because they're at the roster limit and stuff right now. So if they don't go hey, we're going to dump a contract somewhere, we're going to dump a Hardy or an Omax somewhere, then yeah, the consolidation trade is the route to go. And I'm not looking into too much of the like guys above. Like I'm not trying to say like, hey, Najee and Max Christie for somebody. Like I'm not really messing with that right now. I kind of like the layout of the team.
You just want to go into the season with that roster.
Well, no, I think they got to bring Exum in somehow, so they got to do something with this. So I think it's something like it's going to be something smaller in my opinion, and they're looking at like even if you like combine Hardy and Omax, it's around like 9.3 million. So then you look across the league and it's like, all right, is there someone around that 9.3 that you could see making sense? Like, do you call Chicago and it's like a Jalen Smith for Omax and Hardy? A lot of these names like fans aren't going to be like super pumped about. But if you think about it from the lens of, well, Dallas could just dump one of these guys and instead you're just getting back a player, then, it's the end of the roster type stuff. So do you do something like that? I'm unsure what Philly can do as far as how much more money, but like Kelly Oubre is around 8.3. He's on expiring. They're bringing in some younger guys this season. It could be more of a rebuilding season. Is it those two guys for Oubre? And then you're looking at like Brooklyn and Utah. who they're like the only two teams that have cap space left. Utah is like 6.5. Brooklyn has, I think, like 20 still or something.
Jeez.
So, you could look down their roster of some like cheaper contracts and just be like, Omax and Hardy for Sensabaugh, or KJ Martin, or in Brooklyn, Dereck Whitehead.
Sensabaugh may start for the Jazz.
Oh,
I was listening to Locked On Jazz the other day, and I was like, oh my god.
I mean, here's one that fans probably won't like, but it's like you could almost see it because of the situation and a vet like presence in the locker room. Another vet, I know we have a ton already, is Omax and Hardy for Kevin Love. And Kevin Love's in Utah now. They're probably going to just buy him out or waive him.
Raise your hand if you're listening. You forgot Kevin Love was in Utah.
Yeah, he was just in that random trade. So he makes $4 million. I don't think fans would like love that. I'm not saying that I would love that either because, I'm still a believer in Omax. But, that's it. You would save the money at that point. It's basically Omax and Hardy for Kevin Love and Dante Exum. So
Yeah,
would you do that on paper? I don't know. That's the closest thing that I could see him doing.
Reunites Kevin Love and Kyrie, too. That's kind of fun. And Phil Handy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Kevin Love has left in the tank at all right now, but you at least get another vet in the locker room.
And just if we could just get like 10 sick outlet passes, that would be sick from Kevin Love. Yeah, I'm with you that I don't think there's going to be something big. I don't know that I've fully reached the Stockholm syndrome of like, I love this roster. Let's just run into the season with the roster. But for what they want to do this season and for what I think is their priority this season, I think they've done a decent amount. They've obviously got Cooper Flagg. They brought D'Angelo Russell in. That was kind of the big addition move. They're going to get healthy too, which is just going to completely change this roster completely from what we saw at the end of last season. The other thing that we've heard recently is another question we got a couple times. Is Dean Wade a real option? Dean Wade is a stretch four, shooter, defensive minded guy for the Cavs. He's been like one of like Zach Lowe's like league pass guys where he's like just a guy that he talks about randomly where it's like, man, Dean Wade's doing really good stuff for the Cavs. But he's kind of slipped into not playing as much. Cleveland.com had a note recently that said the Mavericks have shown interest in Cleveland Cavaliers forward Dean Wade, who's an above average 3-point shooter who would fit well off the bench. This is when people have pitched to us where it's like the Hardy trade. Dean Wade makes like $600,000 more than Hardy, and so the Mavs have to bring in more. The Mavs have to do something else if they wanted to do Hardy and Dean Wade. So to me, I don't know that one makes a lot of sense, even for the Cavs. They brought in Lonzo Ball. They've kind of made some of their moves, and I don't know that they're going to do anything else. They're in the second apron too, so they're really restricted with some of the things they can do. Like that may not even be possible to do a Dean Wade for Hardy trade for them. They are taking less money, and it is 1-for-1. So I know that those two rules apply, but that is an interesting one. I also don't really understand bringing in another four. The Mavs don't really need another four at this point. I guess you just brought up Kevin Love, but still.
Yeah, I think the Wade thing, I don't think he gets traded from Cleveland. I also don't want to see a Wade Mavs jersey, personally. At all.
Not even think about that as like a repercussion of this trade.
We can just go ahead and burn all of those.
The Wade Mavs jersey.
But also, I mean, I feel like Jake Fisher said a while back, I could be wrong, but I feel like he said a while back that it was either Okoro or Dean Wade for Cleveland to trade.
Yeah, right.
They traded Okoro, so it feels like they will probably keep him. The only thing I'd add to is if Dallas did want to get him, is there a way that you could get that Niang trade exception involved to where you get like, it's like an Omax Hardy thing, but one of them goes in, but then there's like the second apron stuff and.
Yeah, they can't take more money back than they give out. I don't know what that means with a trade exception. It just becomes so complicated.
Long story short, I don't expect Dean Wade to be in Dallas.
Me either. Coming up, do the Mavs make a move before the deadline this year? At the deadline, let's say Kyrie is back, team is healthy. What's one position that the Mavs need to make an upgrade on to try and get the edge over OKC and Denver? Let's talk about that and more coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Some of you listen to this show and think that I'm always on a 5 Hour Energy, but I'm not always. Sometimes I really need one. And sometimes I am just hanging out and I need to get through 9 holes of golf, 18 holes of golf. That's a classic thing that I deal with all the time in my life. Just kidding. I did watch Happy Gilmore 2 this weekend. They won 5 Hour Energy wanted me to compare this to golf, and neither of us golf at all. So Happy Gilmore.
I golf all the time.
I laughed. I laughed a lot during that movie, and it was like I was drinking a 5 Hour Energy because I felt energized after I watched that movie. That's my connection to golf. Is that good enough? Do you think for 5 Hour Energy?
That's good. Just don't submit this ad read.
Yeah, I won't submit it. But if you have needed a little boost as you're going through, I've used these on road trips. I've used these a bunch of different times where you're like, all right, I just need a little bit of an energy boost. 5 Hour Energy is there. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5hourenergy.com. It's like the actual number, not FIVE. 5hourenergy.com. You can use the promo code Locked On Golf. You get 20% off your order of anything. You can go get anything on there, get 20% off of it, get some in bulk, get different flavors, get different packs and things like that. The offer is only valid until September 30th. On one order, cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders, but you can do subscriptions, which is also interesting. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, like Isaac and I every single day, grinding out 36 holes.
It was back 9. That killed me.
Get the back. For the back 18 on 36 holes would kill me. Get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion flavored 5 Hour Energy shots today. It's 5hourenergy.com.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs. Being part of the show, you're a part of the show every day. We appreciate
Why don't we have a Locked On golf show? We could host it.
Yeah, we know so much about golf.
Dude, my hybrid game is
just did that. Had to read about golf, and we're just so yeah. My short game, great. In that I come up short all the time. Thanks for hanging out with us on the show. Subscribe to our text line. That's where we're getting all these great questions from today. There's a link in the description, subtext.com/LockedOnMavs. You can go to and subscribe to that. We appreciate it. We're getting new subscribers there too during the offseason, which we really appreciate. We'll send you every single rumor we hear. We'll do Q&As right on there. And it's just a text. Like it texts you straight to your thing. You don't have to download a new app. You don't have to do all that. It's free for a couple weeks, and then you pay, and then it helps support the show. All right. We're doing some questions about trades. Our friend Joe from the text line says, do you see the Mavs making a move before the deadline this year? Maybe trade some assets for another win now piece or combine PJ and Gafford for a huge piece. Got another question that said, at the trade deadline, Kyrie is back, team is healthy. What is one position or role you could imagine the team needs to push over the top to edge Denver and OKC in the playoffs? I'm combining these two questions because I think that they're both like relevant to each other.
Yeah, it's a point of attack guy. I mean, I think that's the spot right there that you're combining. I mean, in a perfect world, Max Christie turns into that guy, and you trust him enough, and he's you could just play that lockdown defense against other point guards and stuff. But I think is it
Maxey or is it Caleb Martin shot coming back, and then Caleb Martin is that guy?
Possibly. Yeah, I mean, possibly. I'm thinking of somebody quicker. I wrote down names that we see. I mean, you look at some of these past champions here, Dereck White, Lou Dort, like these guys that can go, 30 plus minutes a night and chase around the SGAs of the world, Jamal Murray's and guys like that, and
flowing through their veins.
And I'm confident in like Cooper on the wing, but like even if Cooper could guard, these point guards all the time, you don't want him chasing around a point guard all the time. Like he can't, he's just not going to do that. So, what's names that you look at, and it's like later on the season that if Dallas went out and said, you know what, we're going to combine a couple of our wings, or we're going to take one of our other bigger contracts, and we're going to just kind of shift the roster around to where we go out and we try to get a Herb Jones. We try to get a Nickeil Alexander-Walker after he signed his deal in Atlanta. It's those type of guys that, Herb Jones, we've talked about it for a while. If you're looking at like lesser known names to where you don't have to combine big names and stuff, Terrence Mann and Brooklyn, that they're probably going to, ship off at some point. Do you try to?
I just don't know if Terrence Mann's even an upgrade on Max Christie.
No, I was just looking across the league, and it's like who are guys that you could see them going after, and the like selling point to everybody is like, yeah, we need a lockdown guy. Io in Chicago. Do you try to go get our old friend Derek Jones back in Los Angeles? It's just those type of names. Herb Jones is probably like the one. He signed his extension and stuff, that he's a big enough name to where if you brought him in and you still kept the majority of your rotation intact and you added him in there, and you have the flexibility of closing with either Klay or Herb Jones, or like you have that potential of a lineup of, you know, Kyrie, Herb Jones, Cooper Flagg, PJ, and AD at the 5, or, you know, PJ's off or Cooper's off, you know, something like that. So that's the one spot that if they go like all in, you know, before the deadline, that's it.
I think you're right. I think they could still use some upgraded playmaking, but with Kyrie back, if D'Angelo Russell is solid and can hold his own and can be a good addition in that regard, which we believe, then they might be okay in that spot because Cooper Flagg is going to be able to play make. AD is going to have the ball in his hands. I think they'll be able to put together enough. I don't know if that's title contention, if that's like winning a title creation, but we did just see the Thunder with literally just SGA, some Jalen Williams, some Chet, like play make their way with their defense being incredible, but they have really good perimeter, like point of attack defenders. Like they have 4 that the Mavs would love to have right now, basically. In Ludor, Caruso, Cason Wallace, Jalen Williams, even SGA. Like they have a glut over there.
That's the thing. Yeah. What they did to go get Caruso, you know, if you are, you know, let's say you're top 4 in the West and it's January or you're in like you feel like you have a legit chance at winning the title. Do they overpay for a Dereck White? Do they go call up Boston, who's like reeling on the season? And it's like, all right, we will.
Going over.
Shout out to Nick. And they call up Boston like, hey, we'll overpay. Like we'll give up some assets and stuff to get a Dereck White to combine him with Kyrie and Klay and all these guys. You know, that's something you could see as a possibility too.
That would be wild. They just completely tore their roster down to just the 2 J's, like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who's hurt.
Yeah. I mean, all these options are better than Marcus Smart, probably.
I'm curious to see what he has left. He just has not played a lot of games lately. He would be a player.
That's my only thing I smile about, because we've always loved Marcus Smart, wanted in Dallas, you know. Come home and all this stuff, and I hope he personally like does well. I mean, not too well because it's the Lakers, but it's just funny that, you know, somebody who we haven't seen a ton of recently gets traded. It's the Lakers bump, you know, and then he's primed Drew Holiday after the trade.
We got this question multiple times over the weekend when I did like a quick Q&A, and then in this question where somebody said, what's your best guess on year 1 Cooper Flagg's stat line? And I added an addendum to this question. Do we care about Cooper Flagg counting stats in year 1?
I think we care some. Yeah. I mean, you want to see a little bit, because I mean, let's be honest, if he comes out and his shot sucks and he's not very efficient and all this stuff, like that's going to mean something to us, to where we're like, overreaction. What are we worried? Like all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm more looking at some percentages on stuff, you know, turnovers. I want to see how comfortable he is with the ball in his hands, and shooting. There's a lot of shooting stuff. I'm not worried about anything really defensively. What's the shooting stuff look like in year 1? So when I look at it, I'm like, all right, could he average 15, 16 points a game, 6 boards, 3 assists? I think you said a while back, FanDuel had like, it was like really good odds on triple double. I don't see that. I mean, are they saying blocks?
To get a triple double in any game in the 2025-26 regular season is -115. So they think that's happening.
Yeah. See, I don't, man, that's tough. I just don't see that. I don't think he's going to have could be wrong. I don't think he's going to be playmaking that much to be getting, like, he's not going to be getting Luka assist numbers. So.
Well, and also Luka did have double-digit assists in his rookie year. How many times do you think he had it?
Yeah, but Luka's an otherworldly.
I know, but like, how many times do you think he had it in his rookie year?
I don't know, like 15,
11. So, and that's like a generational top 5 passer in the NBA coming in, and it only happened like, I don't know what, 8% of his games. So for Cooper Flagg to do it would be interesting, because that's not his number 1 skill for sure.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily care about the counting stats. I'm with you that the percentage, the 3-point percentage, I'm definitely looking at. I do want to see his assists and want to see his passing, but I think all of it's going to be in context. And I think we're just going to have to take it all in and see what he's adding to the team. He's a guy that's additive and he's a connector, and he's not a go produce. And if you don't produce, then he's not doing anything else. He's not a Harden, right? In that sense where you're like, all right, if you're not putting up numbers, then I don't know what else you're doing for me, or a Westbrook.
Yeah. I mean, like, look at the context of it. Like, what if some of these things hit, and like a lot of people think, like, what if AD stays healthy and he's having, I mean, it's a clearly top 6, top 7 player in the league type of season. Well, okay, what if that happens and D'Lo's playing like the best basketball of his career? Klay's looking super healthy with the shot and stuff and shooting a really high percentage. And okay, well, something's got to give. So are you going to hold it against Cooper Flagg if he has lower counting stats when a couple of those things are hitting really high, like AD's an MVP candidate and D'Lo's like playing the best basketball or something like that? And then we're looking at it saying, well, Cooper's, he's only averaging 15 points a game. Does that mean he's
12?
Like,
yeah, he's averaging like 12 because he's just like this connector with everybody.
It's like, yes, he could be in Washington right now averaging 19, 20 points, but it's like, so yeah, a lot of it's context.
You talking about Klay though made me think that we need to get on the phone with Shippy, the Mavs DJ, and talk about what sounder Klay gets this year, because he hits a 3 and do they go wop 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 wop? Like, do they do that?
There's so many good things.
I could just hear like the echo, like the Megan Thee Stallion, like body yada yada in the arena. Could you imagine all the different options he has?
Can you imagine just playing one of her songs and warm ups and they're all just like looking at him like?
Have you seen the video of them working out together?
Yeah, it's great.
It's hilarious. Clay's like,
and golfing, everything. I'm all in.
Like, oh yeah, the golf too. Where he's like, he said he was in love in that video.
Klay.
I know. Like, okay, Klay.
Dang.
I'm invested. I'm highly invested. I really want this to be like the Mavs version of Taylor and Travis Kelce.
And the first pitch the other day.
Yeah.
Looking nice. Now his brother does play pro basketball.
Say his brother played for the Dodgers.
Still.
And I think Klay did Klay get drafted?
I don't know.
Baseball?
But incredible first pitch though.
Yeah, he looked great.
It's the summer of Klay right now.
Oh, I'm all for it. Coming up, could it be the season of D'Lo? If D'Lo exceeds expectations, how good can this roster be in spring when Kyrie comes back? I'll tell you. Coming up. All right, Isaac. Let's keep going on answering our questions. Isaac just downing like a giant square bottle of water. You like the square bottle of water or like the circular normal?
I do. If I talk about water, it's gonna sound really bougie. So.
Oh, I'm ready. Okay, go. Tell me your water.
No,
thoughts.
I just there's a certain. I feel like it sounds really bougie to say there's certain brands of water you like.
I got one of those core waters when I was flying recently, and it has like the big cap that turns into like a cup.
Oh yeah,
that was interesting.
It's kind of weird, but
I'm always getting a smart water at the airport over like a Dasani or a Aquafina or like something.
Yeah.
Which water will you never drink? Like you're given an option, like all the bottled water in front of you, and you're like, I will never choose that water.
Oh gosh, I mean, I'm not that picky with water. I mean, Dasani, I'm not a big fan of.
It tastes like salty to me for some
also
reason.
Grew up in Kentucky, and we had like a natural like spring that you could get water out of, and it's still the best water ever, man.
Just
Especially
imagining you like leaning over a river and like scooping
no. There's like
water.
this like spring that comes out, and you like fill a jug up, and especially like near the winter, and it's amazing.
Have you seen those in Europe? And just like on the sidewalk, they'll just have these like springs that you can just.
No, I haven't.
It's great.
To Europe we go.
Let's do it. Let's go Slovenia. Oh wait,
who wants to host us in Europe?
That'd be awesome. If we got a whole bunch of questions on the rotation, and one of them was on D'Angelo Russell. If he exceeds expectations, how good can this roster be come spring when Kyrie comes back? To me, I look at D'Angelo Russell and I think he is just what they need when Kyrie sits every moment. And he can kind of play with Kyrie every once in a while. Like I could see them playing some minutes, some lineups where you need some more shooting and it's Kyrie and D'Lo against some bench units. And you're like, okay, I'm not too worried about point of attack defense because of the back line. It's Lively, it's AD, it's Cooper Flagg, whoever else is back there. And I could see some of that. He does give them the Mavericks a lot. So if he's playing really well, shooting the 3-ball well, assists. His connection with Anthony Davis is great, like bringing the best out of Anthony Davis, because that I think is the most important thing that D'Angelo Russell could bring to this team, is to bring the best out of Anthony Davis, because they were really good together in the pick and roll. If he's doing that, I don't know that it changes how far I think the Mavericks can go, because I'm still worried about D'Angelo Russell in the playoffs.
Oh, okay, yeah. You just got to have another playmaking option. So if D'Angelo Russell, if D'Lo like flames out and it's clearly not working, then that's your consolidation trade, because you got to go get that. Like you got to have some type of playmaking option. But if he hits and he's playing some of the best basketball, which it's a player option after year one, so he can. Yeah, I mean, this is a huge time for him here. So he needs to get that next contract. So if he shows that, then yeah, I think it's massive for the Mavs, because they have to have that secondary option, and they'll have a different look with Dante Exum and Brandon Williams. We got questions about Brandon Williams and stuff too, and I like him. He's just smaller, and there's just a ceiling on a guy like B. Will. But yeah, it would be huge for this Mavs team if he hits.
Would it change your opinion on how far they can go in the playoffs if D'Angelo Russell exceeds his expectations?
Yeah, a little bit, because I don't expect him and Kyrie. I'm not in love with the fact of thinking about D'Lo and Kyrie on the floor together.
No, I mean, not that much.
I think in some of the situations in which, hey, D'Lo, he sucked in the playoffs, whatever. I think he's in like a little bit higher role than like what he's being asked of right now. So will D'Lo look better in the playoffs if you're like, he's coming off the bench in this backup guard role and playing this, like asking to play like efficient basketball, and not, hey, we need you to be a starter 35 minutes in the playoffs and be our second leading scorer.
That is the thing, is that if he could be in the, what Tim Hardaway Jr. was asked to do sometimes for the Mavericks in the past in the playoffs, right? Like the on the road to the finals, come in that one OKC game and go off. Can they get a quarter like that out of D'Angelo Russell? Can they get a game like that in a playoff run out of D'Angelo Russell? Now, there's a lot of other questions, but if we're just talking about D'Lo, then that is a positive that he's going to be asked to do less.
Could he provide the offense that like a TJ McConnell or a Ben Mathurin did at times for a Pacers team? That's the type of stuff. And you're like, oh, okay. Like D'Lo is the type of guy that in the first round of the play or second round of the playoffs, and you're like, dude, we won game 5 because D'Lo put up like 25 in that game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still go back to that OKC series in the finals run. Tim Hardaway Jr. game 2 had 17 points, and if he doesn't have those points, the Mavericks do not go to the finals. Like, I swear that swung.
Those guys have moments like that. We know these moments from playoff runs and Mavs past, and like, oh, Peja, that's the Peja game, and oh, this is this guy. And it's like all these guys have their moments in the playoffs. So D'Lo could be one of those guys.
He could. He has not to this point, but he could.
He has not.
On top of that, you mentioned Brandon Williams. Our friend Brad on the text line says, what are the odds Brandon Williams is our starting point guard 10 games into the season? This is like the opposite of the D'Lo exceeds expectations. Like, what happens if it's so bad that they're putting Brandon Williams as a starting point guard 10 games in?
No, I think they'd start Exum before D'Lo.
I also agree with that.
So the odds are very slim.
Say
in my
zero,
opinion.
because something would have to happen to both D'Lo. And honestly, for D'Angelo Russell, I think it would have to be an injury. I cannot see a scenario where D'Lo's not starting 10 games.
And that's quick too. Like 10 games is quick.
Well, we did see Kid pull the plug real quick on JaVale McGee, like 7 games into the season.
Yes, I mean JaVale was just washed.
But it was Jason Kidd's like addition too. Like he was the one that wanted him in. We knew that.
True.
And he just pulled it. But D'Lo is not at that level JaVale McGee was, obviously.
Speaking of addition, I was thinking about this with Omax and Hardy still on the roster. You think there's any hesitation from Nico to trade those guys because like he hasn't got rid of a draft pick yet that he's made?
That is interesting.
Like, is he holding on to Hardy so long because he's like, he's got to work?
Because he traded for both those picks. Like, it's not like he was just like, he just picked because he had to pick somebody at that spot. It's like he went out of his way to go get those guys. Yeah,
them two, Lively.
I do think that's why they haven't been traded yet.
Obviously Agenda, but
and he also just gave Hardy a contract. I don't think they want to I don't think they're going to dump him because he just gave Hardy that contract a year ago.
Yeah, what was the Hardy question you got? was a Hardy question you sent in the text about him playing.
Any chance that if in an offense that isn't built around one heavy ball handler, that Hardy becomes a plus player for the Mavs?
No.
Yeah, like I don't think that was his problem. Like, I
think it's just done for him in Dallas. Like, yeah, it's tough. He's such a fun dude too. I just, how long ago was it that I made a joke on here that I got just like flamed on about his future?
Oh yeah, I said we need to see another season. We were arguing about that last year. I was like, give him another shot. Okay, they gave him another shot, and he actually like regressed to me.
Yeah, and I think I said something along the lines of like he's closer to a contract in a different country than playing.
You did get a lot of flack for that, and as of right now,
I hope I'm wrong because he's such a fun, good dude.
But the thing about Jaden Hardy is that if he had developed as a ball handler and as a playmaker, ball in his hands, like create off the dribble, he has proven to be a pretty good pick and roll guy. Like we've seen some great passes from him where you go, oh dang, like there you go. But the decision making to get to that point, or the ball handling to get to that point, has not been to NBA starter level guard like player status. If that summer, go back to the summer league, not last year but the year before, where they wanted him to be a point guard and they played him at that spot, and they're like, all right, go out there and show us what you got. If that had gone well, like think about the butterfly effect where he's developing as a playmaker. They make the Anthony Davis trade. Now all of a sudden they need playmakers. He plays more, he was hurt last year, but he plays some more. Like he would be in a really prime position right now.
Big time. And he's locked up and under contract. Like you got him at a good number. You need a guy like that in the backcourt and all this stuff. Like, yes.
So the fact that he's not even in the rotation for us is telling.
The fact that Brandon Williams looked a lot better than him last year is big. Yeah, for him.
Yeah. Well, ending on a positive note. We've got the text line, so go link in the description, subtext.com/LockedOnMavs. You can go and subscribe to that. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll have more stuff tomorrow. We'll be doing some more big picture questions, and then we'll also have some more throughout the end of the week. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.